Hi folks, welcome back to the Hoard. About 20 to 6, the 13th, Saturday, about 54 degrees outside. Kind of been an overcast day here in the Hudson Valley. Never really did get sunny. It was supposed to, but it never did. So, what have I been up to? Let's check the batteries here. You can see they're charging yet. They haven't made it to the point where they're peaked. Well, been a busy 24 hours. One could see my son moved out. He took all his stuff except this table right here, which his girlfriend didn't want because there's mold on it. I'm not sure if I'm going to completely tear this apart or keep it or what I'm going to do with it yet, but it's got to make itself useful or it's got to go. So, and once again, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I might just burn it. Looks like he forgot a drawer, so he didn't take everything. Unless that drawer's for this. Oh, no, the drawer's for this. So, alright, so that was project number one. You could see the attic, the ladder leads to the loft, to the attic. So he even got his stuff out of there. So, there's that. Thing number two, this morning I took a ride to Galway, New York. Galway. It actually snowed up there. It's kind of cold up there actually. So I've put quite a few miles on the little truck here. Yeah, I filled it up before I left. Let's see if I could show you this successfully. It's not looking good. The top trip meter indicates that I went, wow, close to 260 miles. And it's a couple of miles to the gas station, so it's all at 260. So anyway, I'm going to say the trip to Galway was successful. What I did was I picked up this creature here. It's a big red. Somebody started to restore it. It's got a sticker. Let me show you the sticker. So it's an 86 big red. You guys could see that, right? So somewhat of a kit bike if you want to know what's wrong with it. And of course it's on the other side. Basically the wire harness is screwed up and it doesn't have a CDI unit. I did check the compression. It does seem to have compression. It seems, I mean, the tires have some checking on them. You guys can see that, right? Yeah, you can see the cracking. This one has a tube in it. He gave me a tube for the other one over there, so I can put a tube in it. The front tire holds air, though I flattened it to put it in here. Yeah, the wiring harness. His story on this thing was, it was from a local shop, and they took it in and started to restore it. And he didn't quite explain how, but he said the CDI unit, here, I guess we can get a picture. You can see the wiring down there. Yeah, those yellow wire nuts are not OEM. So he said that somehow the wiring was screwed up, bothered, touched, messed with, however he described it. And he bought a new wiring harness for it, which is this one, and I'm not quite sure why those wires are jacked like that. Unless it had no wiring harness and he bought this one, or I'm not quite sure about his story. And he says he doesn't have the CDI unit, or the CDI unit he had was bad or whatever. I guess basically what I have in my mind is it needs a wiring harness and a CDI unit. It did come with the key switch, the original Honda key switch. Brakes are of course bent. Carburetor seems to have potential. I just noticed this, which doesn't make me happy, which means for whatever reason the choke is futzed around with. Yeah, once again, that doesn't make me happy. I was counting on having a good carburetor there, because the carburetors alone are like a $125 item. So he says the engine was rebuilt. That always makes me a little nervous, because I'm not sure of who rebuilt them. And it always worries me, you know, did they put the oil filter in correctly? Because if you put it in backwards, the head starves for oil, and you take out the valves. Somebody did go through the trouble of painting it. Looks like the engine was off for painting. I see the, what do you call that, orange death here. You got white death up here, or gray death. So, anyway, this was a package deal. So I got this three-wheeler, which is why I headed up there in the first place. So I got this one, and it came with all the racks and the headlight and so forth. And I also got a, I think it's a 200S. I'm not positive what this engine is. It's got front suspension, so it is the S version. Yeah, I'm not positive which engine this one is. So supposedly this guy is seized. He tells me it's seized. And, you know, I should check these things closer when I'm buying them, but I don't see a wiring harness on this thing. It came with a spare set of forks, and it came with a spare engine. Here. So basically, I parted with, and this engine is not seized. I don't know what condition it's in, but it's not seized. So anyway, for this entire bucket of crap, this guy, which is complete minus the CDI unit, and I don't know what the story on this wiring harness is. Looks like a nightmare to me. So, got that bike. Got another bike right there. I got the tires to go with it. Looks like it came with 3 tires. One wheel you drive out at one here, and these 2 guys. So basically I got 2 more or less, let's go with more or less, complete 3-wheelers and a spare motor, and it cost me $410. So there we are. Parts is parts, eh? Normally when this stuff is intact, the engine's not in too bad a shape. You know, when you have, because this is one of the things that gets ripped off pretty quickly. Maybe they just stored it with the spark plug out and it's a little rusty. Maybe I could get it freed up. The kid that worked on him, he didn't strike me as if he knew too much about these things. Normally when they put the bolts back on, that's a good sign. This thing also has the chain guard. The shifter is not stripped. Those are all good signs. The shifter is not stripped on this guy either. So anyhow, number was $410 plus a bunch of driving. Though I was ripe for a road trip. There was nothing great on the road to videotape, so I did not. So here it is, adventure number 1 for today. Folks, live, love, and have a great time. We'll catch you on the next episode of The Hoard. In the meantime, remember, it's always good to have spare parts. Bye now.